If you've ever felt admired yet set apart, loved yet waiting for the words to be spoken, this message is your key to understanding. Subscribe now, because the silence is about to break, and you need to be prepared for the confession that is coming. When this truth resonates with the core of your being, comment below and affirm, "I am ready for divine communication." Your declaration invites the clarity heaven is ready to release. For those moved to support this channel of spiritual insight, your super thanks helps us guide other radiant souls through the beautiful, terrifying journey of being deeply seen. Now, lean in. What you're about to hear is the revelation of why they have been silent, and the powerful love that is finally compelling them to speak. They're watching you, but not in fear, not in judgment. They're watching because they love you, deeply, unshakably, undeniably, but they're afraid, not because of who you are, but because of what your light exposes. They love how strong you are. They admire your faith. They see your growth. They feel your peace. But that's what scares them, because they've never met anyone so spiritually awake, so emotionally deep, so divinely connected. And they wonder, will they ever see me as worthy? Will they understand that I love them, even if I don't say it well? Will their wisdom intimidate me forever? Because your power is silent, but it's loud to their soul. It speaks truth they aren't sure they're ready to face. You walk into a room and everything shifts. Their thoughts get louder. Their heart beats faster. Their words shrink. They want to tell you, but they don't want to mess it up. They don't want to say it wrong. They don't want to come undone in front of you, because you don't just attract them. You awaken something holy in them. And that awakening is both beautiful and terrifying. They've never loved anyone this deeply, not in their body, not in their mind, but in their spirit. And that's what they can't explain. You didn't just touch their emotions, you activated their eternity. They see how you carry pain and still praise. They see how you speak love and still set boundaries. They see how you're human and still heavenly, and it makes them pause, because in you, they see everything they prayed for, everything they didn't think was real, everything they thought only existed in stories, but you're real. And that's what scares them, because real love demands real surrender, and they don't know if they're strong enough. Not yet. They've been broken, rejected, overlooked, and now you stand in front of them, so complete, so radiant, so secure, and they feel like they're not enough. They think you'll expect perfection. They think your discernment will see through their flaws. They think your strength will highlight their weakness. But what they don't know is, you've been afraid too. You've been waiting too. You've been wondering if anyone could handle your depth. You've questioned if anyone could love someone like you, someone so soft and yet so guarded, so bold and yet so careful, so full of fire and yet full of fear. But here's the truth. You were created not to be hidden, but to be found by the one who can handle your glory. And that person, they're already in love with you. They already see you. They already feel your presence when you're not around. They think about you in silent moments. They replay your voice in their mind. They ask God for the courage to speak, but they're afraid, because your anointing exposes what they haven't healed. It's not that they don't love you. It's that they don't know if they can love you well. Not yet, but they want to. They want to learn. They want to grow. They want to rise into someone who could stand beside you without trembling, without doubting, without running. They know you deserve more than admiration. You deserve honesty, loyalty, presence, consistency, and they're not sure they've ever given that before. But for you, they're willing to try. They pray about you, not just out of longing, but out of fear they'll lose the chance to try. They ask heaven, is there still time? Will they still be there when I'm ready? And heaven's answer, yes, but not forever. because this kind of love waits, but not without limits. You are not called to wait in suffering. You are called to wait in purpose, and heaven wants you to know they are coming. But so is your destiny, and God will not delay either. So prepare, not in fear, but in peace. Prepare your heart to receive the one who has loved you even in silence, because that silence is breaking soon, and what was unsaid will be spoken. Clearly, boldly, finally. Type, "I am ready for divine communication" in the comments if your heart feels this word. Tap, like if your spirit knows this love is already stirring in the unseen. Subscribe to angel messages for you to keep walking with heaven into alignment. And if this word touched your soul, send a super thanks as your act of agreement with God's timing. They didn't expect to fall this deep. Not like this, not so silently, not so completely, but now it's undeniable and unshakable. They're not just attracted to you, they are anchored to you, tied to your soul by something higher than desire, and that terrifies them, because they don't understand how love could feel this holy, this weighty, this serious. You didn't ask for their heart, but you carry it anyway. You didn't demand their attention, but you have it. Every day, you live in their mind like a prayer that won't leave, a melody they never want to stop hearing. But here's what you don't see. They rehearse what they want to say every day in their head. They write you messages they never send. They picture your response. They wonder if you'd understand, if you'd see the real them. Not the surface, not the fear, but the soul. They are afraid of your silence, afraid of your depth, afraid of your ability to see through false words. Because you don't just listen, you discern, you feel, you know. And that kind of presence, that kind of awareness, it makes shallow love impossible. They're used to being liked, not known, but you know them. Even without trying, even without effort, even without words, they can't fake around you, and they don't want to. But that makes them feel exposed, naked in the soul, unprepared, so they pull back. Not because they don't want you, but because they think you'll reject what they're still healing. They love you, but they don't think they're good enough yet. They love you, but they don't want to disappoint you. They love you, but your strength makes them question their own. They wonder, what if I speak and they don't feel the same? What if I'm too late? What if they've already moved on? And those fears silence their voice over and over again. But heaven sees, God sees. The angels hear their cries at night when they whisper your name into their pillow, when they scroll through your pictures, when they imagine a life they're too afraid to ask for. They're watching you build, heal, shine, lead, grow, glow, and they cheer. But also weep, because they feel so behind. They think they missed their moment. They think they waited too long. They think your world is too big for them now. But heaven says, love is not measured by timing. It is measured by truth. And the truth is, they never stopped loving you, even in the silence, even in the distance, even in the fear, and that love is starting to rise, boil, overflow, because love cannot be buried forever. They are being stirred in dreams, in worship, in quiet moments, in random songs. God is speaking to them, reminding them, pushing them, gently, softly, powerfully. Heaven is telling them, if you don't speak now, you'll miss what I created just for you. And they feel it, the urgency, the weight, the call, not from man, but from heaven, because this love is not ordinary. It is destiny, it is kingdom, it is chosen. Beloved, they are coming closer. Even if you can't see it, they are being prepared, even if you can't hear it. The angels are clearing the way, moving pieces, unraveling confusion, setting the stage. So when they do speak, you'll know it wasn't random. It was right. And It was time. Type, "I trust heaven's timing" in the comments if this resonates deep. Tap, like if you believe divine love is being activated for you now. Subscribe to angel messages for you to stay connected to what the angels are unfolding. And if this part touched your heart, send a super thanks to honor the word that is preparing your next season. They've tried to distract themselves with work, with friends, with new goals, with forced smiles, but it doesn't work because your memory follows them. Your voice lingers in their mind. Your light haunts their quiet moments. You are their unfinished sentence, their unspoken prayer, their silent ache. And no matter how far they run, your presence still finds them in coffee shops, in songs, in dreams, in the way strangers say your name, because heaven won't let them forget, and their heart won't let them pretend. They are in love, still, fully, quietly, deeply, but they haven't told you, because they're afraid of your greatness. They're afraid of your light, of your voice, of your clarity, of your calling, because while you were rising, they were hiding. You became stronger, and they became silent, and now they fear that your elevation means their elimination. They think, what if I'm no longer needed in their world? What if they've outgrown the version of me I'm still becoming? But heaven wants them to know, you didn't grow to leave them behind. You grew to be strong enough to love them properly, because what's on your life requires a love that is not afraid of your power. And yes, your power is real, but so is your softness, so is your heart, so is your quiet desire to finally be loved without being feared. You don't want someone to worship you, you want someone to stand beside you, someone who can hold your heart without shrinking around your fire. And the angels say they are becoming that person, slowly, quietly, but surely. They are shedding shame, breaking generational fear, releasing false identities, because they don't want to lose you. And they don't want to meet someone else and wonder for the rest of their life, what if it was supposed to be them? So they're rising, one prayer at a time, one surrendered fear at a time, one brave thought at a time. They are building the courage to speak, to reach out, to be honest. And that moment, it's getting closer. You will feel it before it happens. Your spirit will feel unsettled, not in fear, but in divine readiness. Your dreams will get louder. Your emotions will get softer. Your heart will begin to open like it senses someone approaching. And that someone will be them. They may not get every word right. They may stumble. They may cry. But they will speak. Because love like this cannot stay silent forever. They will tell you, I loved you while I was afraid of you. I loved you when I didn't know how to approach you. I loved you when I felt I wasn't enough. And then they'll ask, do you still feel it too? And beloved, you will. Because that kind of love doesn't disappear. It may go quiet. It may hide behind pain. It may get buried in life. But it never dies. And yours, it's alive. And ready to be seen. So stay open. Stay soft, stay expectant, not desperate, but prepared, because love is moving, heaven is shifting, and they are almost at your door. Type, I am open to real love, in the comments, if this part awakened something in you. Tap like if you feel this message is for your now season. Subscribe to Angel Messages for you, so you don't miss the next wave of confirmation. And if this word healed a tender place in your heart, send a super thanks as your offering of faith. Their greatest fear is not that you won't love them back. It's that you'll see their truth and walk away. Not because you're cold, not because you're cruel, but because your spirit is so pure, so advanced, so covered,
And they fear that when you look into them, you'll see their battles, you'll see their failures, you'll see
the parts they're still trying to heal, and you'll decide they're not enough. That's the fear they never say out loud. That's the fear that holds their tongue, that keeps their love trapped in their chest, because you, beloved, you have a presence that commands truth. You don't do surface, you don't do small, you don't do fake, and they know they can't come to you halfway. They can't give you a version. They can't perform love for someone like you. You see too clearly. You feel too deeply. You love too honestly. So they delay. They watch. They wait. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much and they don't want to fail you. Not again. Not at all. You deserve love that shows up fully. You deserve someone who isn't afraid of your layers, of your light, of your calling, of your past. They wonder, what if I open up and they look at me with pity? What if I finally speak and they say that's not enough? Because they've been rejected before, for their sensitivity, for their wounds, for their story. But you're different. The angels know it. Heaven knows it. Even they know it. You don't reject what's real. You don't shame brokenness. You don't run from depth. You welcome it. You breathe grace. You wrap truth in mercy. And if they only knew how much you still think about them, how much you still wonder, how much you still care, it would break the walls around their heart in one moment, with one glance. You have that power, but you don't use it to control. You carry it with humility, and that's what makes you so unforgettable. They remember the way you looked at them, not with judgment, but with love. They remember the words you said, not to impress, but to heal, and that memory still burns in their chest. Because no one else looked at them like that. No one else made them feel safe. They've tried to forget. But heaven didn't let them, because this love, it's divine. And the more they run from it, the more it runs into them. They're starting to understand that this love was never meant to be buried. It was meant to be built. So they are working internally, spiritually, emotionally, preparing to speak, preparing to show up, preparing to be real. They want to be brave, not just for you, but for the love they feel when they think of you. They want to face your light and not flinch, not hide, not run. They want to say it without shaking. I love you. I still love you. I'm sorry for the silence. I want to try. And when that moment comes, don't be surprised if they cry. Don't be surprised if they tremble. Don't be surprised if they finally let go of what they were afraid to show you. Because real love demands real vulnerability. And that's what they're walking into. They're walking out of fear and into truth. Type, I welcome truth over fear in the comments if your spirit is aligned with this message. Tap like if your heart feels this is the moment love begins to awaken again. Subscribe to Angel Messages for you to follow every whisper heaven speaks over your story. And if this part touched something raw and real in you, send a super thanks to honor the unfolding promise. They won't be able to hold it in much longer. The pressure is building in their heart. The words are rehearsing in their spirit. The confession is forming on their lips. They are tired of watching you from a distance, tired of imagining instead of experiencing, tired of fearing what could go right. Yes, they're not afraid of losing. They're afraid of winning. Afraid that if this becomes real, they won't know how to handle something so holy. But heaven says, they're more ready than they think. God has been preparing them in silence, healing wounds you never saw, challenging mindsets they didn't know they had. And now, the angels are guiding them. To you, they will come humbly, no performance, no masks. No games, just truth, just heart, just honesty. And when they do, You'll see it in their eyes, the same love you've been carrying all this time. They've been carrying too. They'll say things you thought you'd never hear. They'll explain what you never understood. They'll answer the questions you stopped asking, because now they're not hiding from your greatness. They're honoring it. Now they know. Your strength was never a threat. It was their invitation, an invitation to rise, to heal, to be brave, to come clean, to love you fully. They will speak, and heaven will be watching. The angels will be rejoicing. Because this moment was written, and it's coming. Closer, faster, clearer. Your heart will feel the shift. Your body will know the timing. Your soul will whisper, "This is the moment." And when it happens, stay soft, stay open, stay present. This is not the time to run. This is not the time to doubt. This is not the time to harden. This is the time to let God finish what He started. Because this is more than love. It's healing. It's covenant. It's destiny. And when they speak, let your heart speak too. Even if it's scared. Even if it's trembling. Even if you promised yourself you wouldn't feel again. Let God do it. Let Him be the author. Let Him write the next chapter. Because this time, it won't end in confusion. It won't end in silence. It won't end in separation. It will begin in truth. It will begin in maturity. It will begin in divine alignment. And what begins in God will never fall apart. Type, "I receive divine love without fear" in the comments if this final part confirmed what you've been waiting to hear. Tap like if your spirit knows this moment is closer than ever before. Subscribe to Angel Messages for you, so heaven's voice is never far from your journey. And if this last part moved you deeply, send a super thanks to honor the full circle. Moment God is bringing, you are ready. They are ready. Heaven is ready. Love will no longer be afraid. It will speak and it will stay. They don't want to waste time anymore. They've realized something priceless. That being close to you, even if it terrifies them, is far better than living without you and pretending they're okay. They've tried to numb it, ignore it, deny it. But your love is not forgettable, not replaceable, not dismissible. You changed them, and they can't go back to who they were before you came. They don't laugh the same. They don't rest the same. They don't dream the same, because you were the spark, the mirror, the safe place they never knew they needed. And they want to tell you, you made me want to become better, not for you to fix them, but because your light showed them what love could look like if they stopped hiding. You taught them that love doesn't mean control. It means comfort. It means showing up. It means presence. And now, they want to give that back to you. They want to offer what they couldn't before. Their full heart, their full truth, their full effort. The angels say they are being refined by fire, not to punish them, but to purify their love. Because what you're about to receive is not a broken version of what was, but a healed version of what always should have been. They will look at you differently this time, not with fear, but with awe, not with insecurity, but with honor, not with hesitation, but with devotion. And when they speak, you will feel it. Every word will carry weight, will carry surrender, will carry God. They're not just coming back, they're stepping forward, with intention, with clarity, with a prayer burning on their tongue. They'll say things like, I couldn't forget you. I didn't feel peace without you. I knew deep down I was always yours. And you won't need a script. You won't need preparation, because your spirit has already rehearsed this reunion in dreams, in stillness, in hope. And the moment will feel like exhale, like holy relief, like God answering the question you were too scared to ask again. Will it be perfect? No. But it will be pure. Will it be easy? Not always. But it will be real. Will it be fast? Maybe. But it will be right. Because when God says, now, no force can stop it. And beloved, He is saying, now. So clear the space in your heart. Make room, not just for the person, but for the love they carry, the truth they're ready to speak, the healing they're finally brave enough to share. Let this love in. Let it meet the healed you. Let it stay. Type, I make room for true love in the comments if your heart is open. Tap, like if you feel God's hand still moving through your story. Subscribe to angel messages for you, so you never miss a word heaven is whispering. And send a super thanks if this part sealed the promise deeper into your spirit. You are not alone. You were never forgotten, and you're about to be seen in a way you've prayed for, but didn't know was possible. They've tried to rehearse what to say, but nothing they write feels worthy. Nothing sounds good enough. How do you speak to someone who healed parts of you without even touching you? How do you approach someone who glows with the kind of peace you're still learning to hold? They see how you carry yourself, not with arrogance, but with grace, not with noise, but with presence, and it stuns them, because they've never met anyone like you, and they're afraid they never will again. They know you've been patient. They feel the pull of time. They feel the weight of silence. And that's why they can't ignore it anymore. Because this isn't just about a feeling. It's about alignment, purpose, calling. You carry something sacred, and it calls to them even in the night, even when they pretend they've moved on, even when they smile for others. It's you they want to talk to. It's your name they whisper in secret. It's your image that calms their heart, and now they know the silence has overstayed its welcome. They're praying for timing. They're asking for grace. They're watching for signs, and heaven is sending them. One by one, gentle nudges, clear dreams, unmistakable shifts, because God is not teasing them. God is teaching them how to love, how to show up, how to speak with truth. The fear they once carried is being replaced with hunger, not desperation, but desire. Desire to do it right, to make it clear, to speak from the soul. They know you won't settle, and that's what they admire. You don't chase, you attract, you don't beg, you pray, and your peace, it has become the signpost that leads them back. So they're planning, not with pressure, but with prayer. They want to show you who they've become, and they want to ask, will you walk with me now? Not as strangers, not as old stories, but as two souls who survived the distance and still chose love and beloved. You'll feel it. Before they say a word, your spirit will know that something is turning, that the silence is about to break. You'll feel a pull to prepare, to rest, to open, to soften, because when the confession comes, it will be raw, it will be real, it will be redemption. They will not come to impress. They will come to reveal the love, the fear, the reason they waited, the reason they couldn't hold it in any longer. And you will know this is the moment you were made for, the moment where your heart no longer wonders. Do they feel it too? Because they'll say it with trembling lips, but steady eyes, and the angels. They will sing, because the timing is no longer near. It is now. So get ready, not in fear, but in faith, not in panic, but in praise. Type, I welcome this holy confession in the comments if your heart knows this moment is coming. Tap like if your spirit feels the shift in the unseen. Subscribe to angel messages for you so you never miss what heaven whispers next. And send a super thanks if this part spoke directly to the place you thought was forgotten. They were afraid of your greatness, your peace, your purpose. But what scared them the most was your love, because your love wasn't small, wasn't ordinary, wasn't safe.